This is a Pubcast Shot. I'm John Loomer. These are the biggest meta advertising updates of 2025. Let's go. So yeah, it's that time of the year when we look back and recap everything that happened. Now, it might be the sign of lazy creativity, but I decided to take this way further. I recently sat down and went through all 250 or so pieces of content I published this year. So it's my blog, short-form video posts, and yes, podcast episodes. And then I documented every time I discussed a change or new feature. Amazingly, there were 83 such changes in 2025. So if you felt like meta advertising was constantly changing and you couldn't keep up, there's a reason for that. Now, while a lot of those changes were minor feature updates, there were three that stood out. First, and it should be no surprise, 2025 was the year of Andromeda. It doesn't matter what you think of it. Some advertisers blamed Andromeda for their bad results in 2025. Others of us thought the hype was a bit overblown. And some swear it's the secret to their success. But no matter what you thought of it, Andromeda was the hottest topic of the year. And I can speak from firsthand experience that I approach my ads completely differently now. In years past, my ads were an afterthought. Maybe not a good thing, but it was true. I was entirely focused on targeting and optimization and all the various levers and settings. So this year, thanks to the Andromeda hype, I spent way more time on my ads. And not just creative diversification, making sure I lean into different formats, multiple texts, and different messaging angles. But more than ever before, I was focused on the psychology of ads and trying to create good ones. Andromeda was big. The second biggest update of 2025 was the creative testing tool. Now, maybe I'm in the minority on this, but I'm a huge fan of this new feature. It allows you to allocate a percentage of your campaign or ad set budget to a temporary creative test. And when that test is over, the ads will continue running normally without forced budget. So I find this approach far superior to the way we did it in the past, and really the way many advertisers continue to test creative today. Because of the creative testing tool, I've changed the way I approach introducing new ads to an ad set. In the past, I'd publish new ads and leave them to the algorithm gods. Then I'd start asking questions about why one ad wasn't getting shown. Might even get my feelings hurt. But now I can run a test on all new ads, so I have that data. So then, if I turn an ad on or off, it's because of knowledge from those tests, rather than guessing. And the third biggest meta advertising update of 2025, value rules. Honestly, this was a surprise addition to the advertiser's toolbox this year. While the mostly consistent theme has been meta taking control away from advertisers, value rules was an example of giving control back. And it actually makes sense when you think about it. Yes, you should use Advantage Plus Audience and trust algorithmic targeting in most cases. But it's not perfect, and there are specific cases when meta going for the cheap action can lead to low quality results. Instead of manually adjusting your audience by age range or gender, you can keep Advantage Plus on. Then use value rules to adjust bids to solve the problem related to information you have, but Meta doesn't. Another common example of when value rules are useful is related to placements. If Audience Network, for example, leads to cheap and low quality results, Meta will spend a ton of your budget there. Instead of removing it, you can simply apply a value rule to lower your bid and solve that problem. So these are the three biggest updates of 2025, but there were a few honorable mentions as well. Meta's automatic translation tools for videos and text are in the early stages, but they have the potential of making our ads far more accessible. Advantage Plus campaign setup may not have added functionality, but it further encouraged advertisers to lock in the default settings. And I'm not sure what to make of incremental attribution, but it has the potential to be something. And while first conversion reporting was introduced in 2024, the new optimization option came out this year. And so far it's buggy, and I still don't get why you'd optimize this way. It's still been a big change. And finally, Meta finally monetized Threads, opening up further inventory for advertisers. We're only seeing basic ad options there so far, but that will change soon, and that audience will grow. So here's the bottom of the glass. 2025 was the year of Andromeda and a year of dizzying changes for advertisers. If you were able to keep up, you're ahead of most, and you should be proud of yourself. It would be easy to stick to your old ways and ignore the countless changes and updates. But if you want to remain relevant and effective as an advertiser, you need to be aware of these changes. You need to adjust and make informed decisions about how the changes impact your approach. If you want to take a trip down memory lane on the 83 changes that happened this past year, read my blog post. Go to johnloomer.com/2025. Yeah, that's 2025. Thanks for being along for the ride this year. I'm looking forward to more big things with the podcast moving forward. So here's to a great 2026. Something I'm looking to prioritize in this stage of my life. When I say this stage of my life, the kids are getting older. I'm not coaching baseball teams and busy with all of that kid stuff as much as I once was, say, 5 years ago. I want to do more public speaking. Now, I've done a decent amount over the years. Look, I started this business way back at the end of 2011. And for a while there, I was doing at least one speaking engagement every single year. So I'm not your typical polished public speaker who is on the circuit at all times and repeating and rehashing the same presentation and maybe making it better every time traveling around the world. No, because I prioritized during these many years spending more time with my family, my kids, and that's really what was most important to me. But now they're getting older. 2 of the 3 have moved out of the house as I record this. Third isn't far behind, and I need to stay busy. And one of those things, public speaking. So if you have an event where you have an audience of meta advertisers, especially agencies, not just beginners. We're not talking about people who have never advertised before, but those who want to cut through the fluff, cut through the BS, just have someone give it to them straight about what is going on right now with meta advertising and how you should approach it. I'm your guy. If you want to discuss your event and my place in it, go to me@johnloomer.com. Thanks again for joining me today. Until next time, do awesome things. I'm out.